and their performance is likely to be somewhat similar to what we saw from the 310s and 270s, mainly 310Rs. The 420Rs it is now. They'll again have a rolling start as the others did. They'll line up on the grid with pole position on the right-hand side, looking towards Red Gate, and that's occupied by number 4, Anthony Barnes. And on the other side of the front row, number 82, Stuart Calder. So the front row, 4 and 82. The second row, number 3, Lee Wiggins, and number 14, Mark Farmer. 3 and 14, row 2. Row 3, number 124, Ben Winrow, brother of Jamie, who we saw in the previous Caterham race. And beside him, number 47, Tom Heyman Joyce. 124 and 47, row 3. Row 4, number 32, Lewis Tootle, and beside him, number 64, brother Gary Tootle. 32 and 64, row 4. Row 5, number 6, picking up a 5-place grid penalty for causing collision in the previous race. So Jason Cheetham relegated to the 5th row when his qualifying time would have put him on the 4th row. Number 6, Jason Cheetham, and beside him, number 68 is Ian Dybel. 6 and 68, row 5. Row 6, number 5, Peter Reimer, and number 7, Duncan Greenaway. 5 and 7, row 6. Row 7, number 34, Ian Cowley, and 19, Mark Stansfield, hopefully, after his off in qualifying. 34 and 19, row 7. Row 8, 33, Richard Borton, and 25, Matt Drew. 33 and 25, row 8. The 9th row, number 12, Tom Greensall, and number 55, Russ Oliphant. 12 and 55, row 9. Row 10, number 86, Steve Riley, and 35, Charles Holroyd. 86 and 35, row 10. Row 11, number 2, Matt Reeve, and number 27, Ryan Grant. 2 and 27, row 11. Row 12, number 53, Matt Welsh, and 17, Ben Rosal. 53 and 17, row 12. Row 13, number 42, Tom Correndon, and 10, Ian Noble. 42 and 10, row 13. And the last row of this big grid, number 13, Kelvin Hassel, and number 93, Mike Evans. 13 and 93 complete this, if they're all there, 28-car grid.
Didn't get a word with the driver.
I must say one thing about the way this meeting's gone. I know there were some delays this morning because of cars going into gravel in the qualifying sessions, but the way that the racing has gone so slickly is a testament to the whole organisation and the marshals keeping the ball rolling and keeping cars coming out almost immediately after the previous race has finished. So it's a very large grid, as I was saying, of Caterhams. Picking a winner is difficult. In fact, am I going to have a go at it? I think Jason Cheetham's probably a bit wound up after being costing 5 grid places. Anthony Barnes is a potential winner, certainly, so I'll plump for him. Not just because he's on pole position, because I've seen him go well in the past. Very often. Rolling start, of course, to accommodate these large grids of Caterhams. such is the support for Caterham racing these days among competitors, that there have been times when you've had a virtually, I think, quite a few years ago now actually, there was a Snetterton race meeting which was for Caterhams only, and provided a 4 days motor racing. So many entries were there. Well, we are without Phil Jenkins for reasons unknown, championship leader, but hopefully we do have those who had problems in qualifying, like Mark Stansfield, Lee Wiggins, Anthony Barnes, all ones to, they hope, benefit from the absence of Phil Jenkins. The 2 extras not shown in, oh, they're 310Rs. These are the 420Rs. Ben Winrow, brother of Jamie, starting on row 3, is another potential winner. So waiting for the pack to emerge from Roberts chicane behind the safety car, which is peeling off into the pit lane, and a good close controlled speed formation. The pack heads towards the gantry. The lights are on red at the moment. When they go out, they can accelerate towards the corner. Lights go out, and the surge of sound, off they head towards Redgate, side by side, I think from the outside line as he got the lead. They're still side by side, the front row. They're still side by side as they go out of our sight. But we have got them on the TV screen now, so we'll hopefully pick up what the leaders are up to. But for me, it was Anthony Barnes and Stuart Calder, almost level. Now, is that red or... Yeah, that's... looks to me like Anthony Barnes in second place. I think Stuart Calder may have taken the lead. But Adam may have a different view.
Anthony, no, it looks like Anthony Barnes is in the lead there. It looks like Lee Wiggins is also looking pretty aggressive as well there in his number 3 Caterham 420. But at this moment in time, they're still just attacking the circuit. There was a lock-up down at Old Hairpin, but nothing too dramatic either. So it looks like it's pretty clean at this moment in time. They head up the hill towards Copper's Corner, and they'll just follow along their way, just making sure that they are going to be keeping it nice and clean. We heard from the Caterham drivers earlier, bit of contact. Oh, there's a big amount of debris flying across the circuit, and as Lee Wiggins goes and takes second place there, it is still Anthony Barnes leading the way. But will there be a local yellow for that piece of debris? I didn't see which car it flew off. In fact, there's one in the background, and I didn't quite get to see them as they came over the timing line, because I'm just having a look at our live feed here, and it looks like one of the cars just ahead, number 5 there. That is Peter Rimmer, so the car ahead of Rimmer. So I think that's Greenaway in the believe the number. Just having a look down here. Move on.
So over the line, then had Mark Farmer, in fact, up into 3rd place, former British GT competitor. And then Stuart Calder was down to 4th place, Ben Winrow was 5th, and up to 6th place, 3 places pulled back already from his penalised position on the grid, Jason Cheetham. Then the Tootles, and Mark Stansfield going well. Mark Stansfield has worked his way up already, gained 3 places, up into 9th place at the end of the opening lap, number 19. So he's another one to keep an eye out for. He's a potential winner. And considering the way his qualifying session ended after just a couple of laps, that would be a great turn-up for his books. So through come the leaders then. And this time John Barnes leads. Yes, it's still in second place. Still in second place is number 3, Wiggins. Lee Wiggins. Behind him, Mark Farmer. Then Stuart Calder. Then Ben Winrow. Not much change in the order, actually. In 6th place is number 6. 6th place, number 6, and that is... Oh, number 6, yes, Cheetham. And the race having to be stopped as a result of an incident that's occurred between McLean's and Coppice, which is being dealt with. But we can see smoke rising. Could be for a variety of reasons, but I'm sure the marshals are immediately on the case to deal with the situation. I think it's, yes, you can see flickers of flame, so I think we can assume that smoke is caused by fire rather than an extinguisher going off or something like that, other than to quell the flames. And it's now subsiding, but exactly what the problem is has been caused by, not really possible to say. Just stress that the cars involved in the incident which has brought all the smoke about, the drivers are out of the car, so it's just simply a question of clearing up the mess. Which may take a few minutes. Donington Park provides excellent refreshments if you feel like a cup of tea or something at this time. 4:10, time for tea. And Well, sorry for the delay, but although I think just to ensure that he gets the best care, one of the drivers has, I suspect, got whiplash problem. Therefore, needs to be taken on a board to the medical centre for further examination. There is also, I was mentioning that at Donington Park you get excellent refreshments in the Paddock Diner. There's also a very good newsagent shop. You can just about find every motoring magazine, motor racing magazine you can even think of available there, as well as today's papers, and refreshments of various sorts as well. Off. Well, it shouldn't be too long before we're back in business. One of the cars involved in the incident still has to be taken away, but the cars now being ushered forwards to take up their places on the grid, which clearly, because it's on the opening lap, it's going to be a grid based on the original grid. So that will be pole position on the right hand side, of course, because it's for a rolling start. Occupied by Anthony Barnes, the only driver to get below the 1 minute 15 mark in qualifying. Stuart Calder, number 82. will be with him on the front row. And then row 2, number 3, Lee Wiggins. And number 14, Mark Farmer. Then on row 3, 124, Ben Winrow. And 47, Tom Heyman Joyce. On the 4th row, 32, Lewis Tootle. And 64, Gary Tootle. So 32 Lewis Tootle, 64 Gary Tootle. Then behind got 6 Jason Cheatham, the yellow car, and 68 is not there. Ian Dybel. Next row, 5 Peter Rimmer and 7 Duncan Greenaway. Well, that part of the grid hasn't yet. Six age, isn't there? .34 is here in Cowley. And 19, Mark Stansfield is there. That's 34-19. 33, Richard Borton is there. 25, Matt Drew should be the next one. And we're getting 55, Russ Ollivant. So no Duncan Greenway by the looks of things, number 7. Borton is there, Matt Drew. Number 25 is there, the next row 33, Richard Borton. So next row 12, Tom Greensall there, yes. 55, Ross Ollivant is there. So what we're missing is Duncan Greenaway. Number 7.
Stuart come down because on the radio it said trouble with Gary. Stuart appeared and he made the battle somewhere. Now the Italian guy finished the wall.
All right, the grid is reassembled in its original shape, with the gaps being number 7 Duncan Greenaway, 17 Ben Rowsell, and 86 Steve Riley. Well, the grid is reformed, And we should be underway again. Now, are they going to reduce? Yes, it's going to be a 15-minute race now, rather than the original 20. They've got the chance to come back tomorrow.
So yeah, as expected, I thought as we were in that kind of red flag kind of period, I did think that they were going to shorten the race, because it did take quite the while to get this completely cleared up. But yeah, wonderful job by the mechanics and the ambulance crew being on the scene as quickly as possible. So a big credit to everyone involved in that last half an hour that we had. But we do get to enjoy some racing. We just want to check that the track is completely cleared up, getting the final pieces, bits and pieces removed, and then we will go up for that warm-up lap. But just going back to the drive, driver, somebody has just stormed off. I think that was Duncan Greenaway, because I believe he was the one that had the piece of debris being flung up. So let me just have a look on our wonderful security camera that we have in the current commentary box. See if we can.
It's from the third row, the outside of the third row. That's Tom Heyman Joyce, number 47.
Oh, so it might have been Heyman Joyce then. So I got that all wrong then.
It's the third. It's the car on the third row, number 47. Tom Heyman Joyce was pulled off the grid.
And hopefully that.
And we're also without 7 Duncan Greenway, 86 Steve Riley, and 17 Ben Rosal. For the restart. So as far as we can see, everything's in good order again, so we should be able to send the cars off on there. Not so much a warming up lap, still a formation lap for the rolling start. Not sure what impact this delay is going to have on still to come. We've got Northern Saloons and sports cars to come for their second race, the Miata Trophy second race, the Legends final, and the production of GTI is scheduled to end at 6:25. Well, we can go until 7 o'clock, as we will be doing tomorrow, when the 5-hour Ford KA race, Enduro car race, occupies the latter part of the day, scheduled to end at 7 o'clock. And as ever, massive thanks to all the marshals for all they do. It's going to be a late tea today, guys and girls, and a late tea tomorrow as well. But obviously we couldn't run race meetings without their enormous enthusiasm, expertise, and support. We're not privy to any information about what's happened. We only talk about what we see. think part of it is to make sure that recovery vehicles are back where they need to be, should the need arise for them to be used again. Yeah, by the looks of things, I think the delay before the restart is simply to ensure that all the equipment that needs to be in certain places is in certain places.
What's up?
Park has sent me to tell the drivers to all get out. All the cars are staying on the grid, but we stopped for about an hour because there's no ambulance.
Yes, yeah, we've just got that. We were about to sort all that for you. No problem. Did you catch that, Nina? Catch that?
I think there's going to be a few more minutes delay, so I'm just going to pop down and chat to some of the drivers as an opportunity. The marshals have spread the word to the drivers that get out of your cars if you like, because there may be a few more minutes delay. So sorry about this, but that's what circumstances have dictated. Meanwhile, I see that Tom Heyman Joyce's car is being pushed all the way up the pit lane backwards, and it's going to take up its place. Is he going to have to start from the back of the grid, I think? Or is he going to be able to start from his place on the third row? Place on the third row by the looks of things. Well, that delay has allowed him to get back into the running.
Down here on the grid at the moment after a long period of a red flag, and just want to see if we can get a couple of words with the drivers. I think a lot of them have went off into the pit lane. We're just waiting for a couple of ambulances and some medical stuff. We want to make sure the track is in fine conditions. The track does seem to be quite nice at this moment in time. And of course we do have on the drivers hit 47. It looks like they're trying to get this in place. Hopefully not suffered too much damage.
That was the car that drove off the grid, remember, about 10 minutes ago. So
of course, so they've replaced the front nose. So of course that came off during the first lap. You may have seen in the pictures that it just came flying off, and I think we'll just try and grab a quick word. Just try and fill in because it's been quite a long time. We've had to keep a lot of our viewers waiting with everything going on. But yeah, just huge credit to everyone involved and managing to keep it nice and tidy. I believe we're one of our drivers here. Are we all right for a quick word? So of course we did do that that first lap, but unfortunately a red flag came, unfortunately. But how did it kind of go from your point of view? I'll let you take your balaclava off.
Well, I hope the guys are okay. That's the most important thing. That's the critical bit. For me, they just backed up on the exit of turn one. I just very gently touched the car in front. Didn't think anything of it. Everything was fine. But in the back straight, the nose cone and bonnet ejected, which wasn't ideal. But yeah, no, we're all fine. New bonnet, new nose cone. We'll give it another go. Thank you.
Was there a kind of a reason for the bonnet, or was it just maybe a bit of contact? We're not quite sure. Do you know any kind of way it was kind of ejected?
Well, I tapped the car in front in the first corner on the exit. He just wasn't on the power. So that just slightly cracked the mounts of the nose cone, I believe, which meant that the nose cone came loose and went over the top.
And so you're starting on the third row of the grid. And so it doesn't look like a pretty bad view if I just kind of go down to your level. Yeah, so just like right next to the car, you got a pretty good view, you know. I think.
It's a good position to be in. It's fun.
So do you think you'll be able to make some places off the start? Because it's going to be quite difficult with some very, very competitive drivers amongst you.
Yeah, well, that's always the plan. Always the plan to go forward, safely and cleanly forward.
And of course, because we've been in this kind of situation for quite a while, do you kind of have like a bit of a mental plan of how to get back? Because it's so difficult to just go from relaxed straight into a high intense environment.
Yeah, it's just you've just got to relax. Even when you're racing, just relax. Just take everything calmly, take it in its stride, and keep your eyes open, keep it clean, and yeah, just relax is my biggest tip.
Relax. I think I can do that quite a bit, even though despite being quite a pressurized moment, everyone has kind of left the grid. So we'll try and make our way back to the pit lane. We'll try and find some pictures from across the circuit. I'm sure of these wonderful cars, these wonderful Caterham 7s that are out here at this moment in time. Then we'll try and find some drivers. Hopefully, they go with some nice information.
Yeah, previous 420R races this year before today were at Snetterton. And Phil Jenkins won one, Lee Wiggins won the other, Mark Stansfield was second in one and fifth in the other. Lee Wiggins was second in the other. As I say, 1-1. Phil Jenkins had a first and a third. Rob Watts, two fourths. And Anthony Barnes, who started this race in pole position, had a third and a fifth from Mark Farmer, who was sixth and sixth.
So just in front of the wonderful BMW M4 safety car we have here at Donington Park. We have these all over at every single circuit. So you'll see this at, of course, Donington Park. You'll see this at Brands Hatch, Snetterton, Alton Park, Cadwell, wherever for our MSV circuits. So you'll see these quite a lot, and of course the BMW is always a wonderful car. It's really iconic and eye-catching to a lot of the viewers, and you'll be able to. And it's quite big, so you'll be able to see that out on track, no matter what car you have, no matter what series we'll have. In fact, if it's our KAs or if it's our touring cars or if it's our superclass GB3 cars that are currently international at this moment in time. But this long break, of course, will keep on at this moment in time. It's just because both of our ambulances are having to drop off drivers for medical checks. And I think this is personally super important because, of course, safety is paramount in motorsport. We know that the evolution of how every single race series has gone, and that the fact that you know that from especially Formula One, it's been documented so many times, the changes of the series and how these kind of open cockpit cars have gone from no seat belts to helmets to hands devices to enclosed cockpits to the Halo device that came in back in 2018, and every car has kind of adopted its own kind of way of safety, and you're even seeing it on these beautiful Caterhams with their kind of roll cages. They've continuously got stronger over the course of the 70s, the 80s, the noughties, the 10s, and even the 20s, and they'll just continue to be evolved. And I really think that it's not even technology, it's just pieces of metal that are just surrounding the car, and they'll just continue to get stronger and stronger and try and withstand the type of surfaces that we're going to be racing on. Because if you do touch the ground down here, if you have a look down here, it is just solid concrete. You know, I've been at the British Grand Prix when Guan Yu Zhou had his huge crash, and that still has left a mark on the circuit, and it really just shows how strong safety has come in all forms of motorsport. And I think that at this moment in time, yes, we can't go racing, but we do need the safety in all parts of the circuit, and I think we're doing the best job that we possibly can. We're doing the best for our viewers, for everyone at home, and we just have to hope that our drivers are okay, and we can kind of say that they're relatively okay. Of course, accidents will shake up a driver. Let's not be around the bush here, but they will shake up a driver. They will have to go to medical checks. They always do, even if it's just they look okay walking out on their own feet. But it is paramount that we make sure these drivers are okay, and the rest of this grid, this whole entire field of Caterham cars will be racing around the circuit at 120, 130 miles an hour. And it's really just a testament to everyone involved in the motorsports community and industry that we make sure these guys are as safe as can be. And even if delays do happen like this, as anyone at the circuit, we will do our best to try and fill in as much as we can. Look, it's not the easiest. It really, really isn't. Standing here on a grid full of Caterhams, and it's completely empty. I'll be honest, it's just me and my cameraman. That is all that's here on this current grid at this moment in time. I'm sure we'll try and get voices from the driver, but at this moment in time, from what I last saw, they were walking off into the pit lane, maybe even back into the paddock, maybe even just giving themselves a bit of a break, a bit of a breather from the action, the time to reset. I'm sure we'll try and get a couple words, but I think they need to be able to get into the headspace of that red flag scenario. They would have seen what happened on the right-hand side of the circuit.
I suspect they've gone to a driver's briefing. I could be wrong, but the fact they've all gone, unless they've all gone for a cup of tea.
There is potential that driver's briefing may have happened, but they normally do that in the morning of Friday.
No, I meant because of the incident, not because it's the first one of the day.
I get where you're coming from with that one. But yeah, I think as long as these drivers are in the mindset, they're happy to go racing. I think that they need their kind of space to be able to hop back in these absolute weapons of machinery. I'm sure our cameraman will get an amazing shot. There you go, of the number 14 on the second row of the grid. But yeah, as I think a lot of us are doing at this moment in time, it is not the easiest job being here on a lonely grid. So everyone here at Donington Park is doing the best they can, and I give them full credit. No matter who you are, in the grandstands as a spectator, waiting on the next piece of news, whether it be my friend, my co-commentator Ian, just standing up in that commentary box, or if it's the guys along these glass windows doing their job at hand. I think we're all doing the best possible job that we can.
Yes, it's getting on for 5 o'clock now, and it is a bit concerning that With the Donington Park curfew actually later than most circuits, it goes till 7 o'clock, as I pointed out earlier on. We've got until 7 o'clock to run the Ford KA or cars tomorrow, which should be a very interesting race. Time is working against us at the moment, and as Adam's just been explaining, there's the need to ensure that what has to be in certain places, whether it's medical vehicles and other equipment, is it back in place to ensure that it's available should the need arise, or the people are available should the need arise. Hopefully it won't again before the end of the afternoon. But as Adam says, there is no one on the grid at the moment. Everybody has, by request or their own instigation, has decided to make their way back into the paddock, and that's why I think there may be a drivers' meeting being convened just to explain to them what's happened and what they're doing and where we go from here.